Hi, my name is Ross Smith, and I'm here at ISPI 2013. I'm here with Sara Tarr, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about her experience as a professional in the field of performance improvement and see what she has to say. So how are you doing today?
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you're doing this. It's a great asset to a lot of people, I'm sure.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that you took the time out of your day here at ISPI 2013 and are sitting here talking with me. So I've got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
So what are you doing currently professionally?
The role that I have right now is leading a project at the University of Maryland. They are they're in a shift, taking face-to-face instruction and putting it online.
Okay, I think that happens a lot.
It is happening a lot, and so the team that I'm working with was brought together because of our incredible resources and skills, and not necessarily in this particular realm, but in many others that make the application of our skill sets to this a good fit, because we can think abstractly, because we don't have to have all the answers in the beginning.
Right.
We have to be absolutely flexible. That although the funding is there, we still need to think creatively about how to do things. So that means we need to know what the box is in order to think outside of the box.
Right.
So when we think about instruction, and you're in the program, you're in a college program.
I'm a college student right now.
So how do you think things could be better at your school? I mean, as you're going through the classes, I'm sure you have ideas about this is dumb. How can I make this better? And so that's what I want to be able to bring to the table. That I had 15 years of college, and I feel like I've got a lot of experiences that can help me understand how not to do things,
right,
more than about how to do things.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So that's what we're doing, and so my role in that is getting people to think about how instruction happens to support actual learning. And
right.
This is a graduate program, so we're working all with people who are working in the field, in their chosen field already. And it's really important for us to think about how they're actually going to apply these tomorrow on the job, as opposed to being in an undergraduate program where it's all kind of I might be able to do that kind of stuff. No, this is real-time learning. So we have to be in the back pocket of these people to be able to give them experiences that will absolutely and dynamically affect their job now.
So you have the experience of actually seeing these students that you're working with, who are also young professionals, actually apply your knowledge. Yes?
I don't have the opportunity to do that, except in terms of their interaction with their professor. I am not the professor.
Of course not. Yeah.
I'm the person who's going to take that learning and give them activities that will be very relevant to their work, very relevant to these days. And the course is actually about cybersecurity. So can you imagine a more relevant course than that, right? So I get to learn a lot about what cybersecurity is and what it isn't. And so while I'm doing that, I'm also imagining what kind of questions I'd have if I were learning this craft.
Right. Okay. What delivery platform do your instructors use for the content?
They have an LMS.
An LMS. Okay. I work with Blackboard Learn. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I didn't know how big that was in the industry.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I know that it has a lot of issues.
Yes, it does. But that's true for any LMS. You can't expect every LMS to do everything you want. That's correct. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep it moving on to the next question. So I think it's really interesting for me as a young professional where different people who are in your position as an industry veteran with years of experience, how they started off.
Oh, that's a fun story. I was a chemistry and geology teacher in high school. And I loved that job. I had a great time with students. it was just a really fun experience for me. And then all of a sudden there came this opportunity for a summer gig working for National Semiconductor, which is a company that designs chips for computers.
Okay.
Silicon Valley, California. And so they asked me to go in and talk to this group of engineers who were faced with an ERP, an enterprise-wide change of software. And they had crafted a lot of their own software to solve the problems of designing chips.
Right.
So they needed someone come from the outside to find out how they do what they do, because I don't have any preconceived notions of how things should be.
Right.
So someone outside the realm to come in, talk about their job, learn how they do what they do, not the engineering aspects of it, but since it was about a transformation in software systems, I needed to know what software they were using and see how they interacted with that. And then that resulted in me, after interviewing 30 or 40 different engineers.
Wow.
Who had been there for 6 months all the way to 30 years, that huge range of skills and experiences. And I took their experiences and I created these SOPs, standard operating procedures,
right,
that showed how this department really uses software. And from those, then I had to learn the new ERP, how that worked. And with those SOPs, I could design some training around how they were going to actually do their job with this new software.
Wow.
So it was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing teaching high school? I loved it. It was really a very good introduction to how people were learning, applying, making these kinds of transitions, and there I am.
So you just sort of jumped right in.
I did, and then I told the high school, I need to do this, and so I went right away to San Jose State, got my master's in instructional technology, and working in Silicon Valley, enjoying the heck out of it, but I realized it wasn't enough. I needed more theory. Okay. So I quit that and went to Syracuse and got my PhD and found it. This is, it just even deepened my love and passion for this field.
Wow. Well, that's a great story. I'd really love to hear more about that company someday. Uh-huh. That seems like a really, because everyone has that first project, mm-hmm. In every experience, the first time they did something. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And there's got to be a lot of stories within that, mm-hmm. I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But so moving on for our viewers. So if you had one piece of advice for young professionals such as myself, mm-hmm. What would you tell them?
Keep asking questions. Don't expect. Here's what I've learned from this, from working in the field as long as I have, is that there are people who know how to do what they do well, but they get in a pattern. And they don't move from that pattern because no one challenges them. And I realized for myself that when I don't challenge, when I have the thought, that just doesn't work, does it really?
Yeah.
I am so reticent to challenge someone else because I don't want to, rock the boat. I want to keep everybody happy. It's a very large part of the female operating procedure that we keep people happy.
Right.
And that's our main job. And so I didn't do that earlier than I have recently. And maybe I'm just jaded now. Maybe, what do I have to lose at this point? So now but my challenge is I see that, maybe that's not quite the right way to do it, but I don't always have the skill because I didn't do this earlier to do it well so that I could frame my objections in a win-win way.
Right, yeah, and it's all about framing.
It's getting their perspective. It's helping to it's using appreciative inquiry skills to not to see gaps but to see opportunities, and And I wish that I had a lot more. You ever tried surfing?
Yes, it's the best. I
Okay,
love
so
it.
surfing is just the same thing. If you don't practice it,
Yeah.
you lose it very quickly. You
Yeah.
lose the sense of the water. And so I think this field is like surfing. The waves are, they have a pattern, but you can't count on
They're different
one
every
wave
time.
after the next. Everything is different. So that's what I would really, really hope people would take away is that, yeah, there may be these models and these ways of doing things, but it's not that way in real life. There is no one model. There is no one way to do anything, and if it, you're out there, you're scraping your knees and trying to figure stuff out, and
Yeah.
don't assume that the older people know what they're doing.
That is good advice. Well, thank you so much. I really, really have appreciated this conversation, and I really appreciate that you took the time out
Thank you.
for me and for everyone who's watching.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.